All right, good evening and welcome to the Palm Springs Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education. Today is Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. I'll now call the meeting to order. We will begin with a roll call, please.
Board Member Jarrell? Here. Board Member Irvin? Here. Board Member Cornett? Here. Board Clerk Espericueta?
Here.
Board President Girardi?
Here.
And we have Student Board Member Caro and Student Board Member Peña.
Okay, would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our Student Board Member, Chris Caro.
Ready? Go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have a reading of our mission statement by our Student Board Member, Matthew Peña.
All members of Palm Springs Unified School District are united in our commitment to equity. We create deep, meaningful learning opportunities, build professionalism, and engage parents and community to ensure success for all students. All students graduate with the skills, capacities, and confidence needed to succeed in a rapidly changing world.
Thank you both very much. Item 7 is report of closed session items. Clerk Espericueta, do we have any closed session items to report tonight?
President Girardi, there are no closed session items to report.
Okay, thank you. Item 8 is approval of the agenda. Could we get a motion to approve the agenda with the pulling of the presentation on district security?
Move for approval.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Brings us to our student board member reports. So let's see. First up, we have Matthew Peña from Cathedral City High School.
Thank you, Dr. Sweezy, and members of the board for this opportunity to speak here at tonight's meeting. We'll be taking a look here at some of the exciting things that have been happening at CCHS. Sports. Our school year is coming to a close, and so has CCHS's spring sports season. This season, our boys volleyball team, swim team, and track team made it to CIF. Congrats to them. We'd like to thank all of our athletes for putting in the hard work and dedication. Our athletes have truly made us proud, and we can't wait to see what they do next year. Also, congratulations to Team Uproar, CCHS's esports team, for taking first place in Valorant, League of Legends, and Smash Bros. At PSUSD's middle school and high school esports Season 3 finals. Equity Ambassadors. CCHS's Equity Ambassadors have put together a Spirit Week titled U Week, a week surrounding the improvement of one's own mental health, and this week will fall between May 22nd to the 26th. Each day will have different focus. Monday the 22nd, meditation. Tuesday the 23rd, journaling. Wednesday the 24th, time management. Thursday the 25th, pick a hobby. And Friday the 26th, bucket list. A Night in the Bayou. This Saturday will be CCHS's prom, A Night in the Bayou. There's always a Spirit Week leading up to prom. Yesterday, May 8th, was Disney Day. Today, May 9th, was Soccer Mom Barbecue Dad Day. Tomorrow, May 10th, is Gone Fishing Day. Thursday, May 11th, is Support the Court Day. And Friday, May 12th, is I Kissed a Frog Day, where students can swap styles with any friend. To add on, CCHS has entered their award season. May 18th will be our Golden Lion Awards and Senior Scholarship Night. The Golden Lion Awards will be held at 5:30, and the Senior Scholarships will begin at 7:15. Both events will be held at Doubletree this year. Also, there'll be a street naming ceremony, which is TBD, which is for whichever senior is selected as the Golden Lion. And with this being my last presentation, I just wanted to be able to thank those who run CCHS's media and photography accounts for allowing me to use some of their photos and postings on my presentations. I also wanted to thank the board for giving me the opportunity to be a student board member and allowing for me to talk about the happenings around my school. It's truly been a great experience. Oh, okay. Is that good?
Thank you, Matthew. And next up, we have Christopher Caro from Rancho Mirage High School.
Thank you, board. I'll be giving an update since my last meeting, which was on March 14th. So starting off, we had the Shrek musical at the Helen Galen Performing Arts Center. It was a great musical put on by our theater department. Many of you were delighted to join us, and I think we all had a great time. Moving on, we had the culinary arts program setting up for the principal for the day luncheon. Our culinary arts program at Rancho was able to cater for the principal for the day as Dr. Mike Sweezy, Madonna, and other guests were able to attend at the event at the Early Childhood Education Center. Our music program received recognition on April 1st as they were able to get a gold star rating in first place. The symphonic band has also been invited to the Festival of Gold for their excellence in music performance, and a special recognition goes to Mr. Aaron Williams at DHSHS. Some recent achievements at Rancho have included our testing. Seniors have just finished up their CAST exams, and freshmen through juniors have just finished SBAC, ELA, and LPAC, as well as their math exams. A few of our upcoming senior events at Rancho include the Senior Awards Night, which will be a night to honor our seniors and their accomplishments. Our Senior Sunset, which is on the last day of school. Seniors will get the chance to enjoy a last day with their friends and say goodbye to the school. Grad night at Disneyland is going to be on June 2nd, and we're very excited to spend a last night with our friends. And graduation is going to be June 7th at Agua Caliente. It'll be hopefully a short ceremony where we'll be able to say our last goodbyes to the senior class. Agua Caliente is going to host our prom on May 20th. It's going to be Enchanted themed, based around cherry blossoms. Our sports have been doing quite well. Special congratulations to baseball and softball teams who have both made it to playoffs. Our track has several athletes competing in CIF, and our tennis team is currently also in their finals. I want to say also a big thank you and congratulations to our swim team. Our Buff Ball and Powder Puff game is coming up on May 26th. The boys will play volleyball and the girls will play flag football. We're excited to see how it turns out and to see if the juniors or the seniors will win. We just had college signing day, so on May 1st we had yard signs around our quad, and students were able to put their name on the yard sign of their school which they will be attending. A special shout out to Maddie, who committed to Merrick College under a softball scholarship. We have an upcoming Spirit Week from the 22nd to the 26th of May. Monday is going to be Jersey Day. Students will wear a jersey of their favorite sports team. Tuesday is Rhyme Without a Reason, so 2 people are going to rhyme without a reason. For example, Brad and Chad, Mr. Worldwide, and I can't remember which one that was. But you're just going to rhyme with your friend without any specific reason. Wednesday is Generation Day. Freshmen are going to actually be college students. Sophomores are toddlers. Juniors are adults, and seniors are senior citizens. And we hope to see teachers as teens. Thursday is anything but a backpack, so students will find anything except their backpack to bring to school and have their books to carry in. And Friday, we're going to be holding our Buff Ball and Powder Puff games, so you're going to side with either the juniors or the seniors by wearing the colors of each side. And I want to give you all a special thank you for such a great year and the honor of allowing me to serve on the board. Have a great day.
Thank you, Christopher. So now we got a special recognition. Why don't we go down there and get this? Go ahead. Before Madonna reads this, the governing board wishes to recognize and commend and thank our student board members this year. We have Angelique. Mariah couldn't be here today, so it's unfortunate that we extend our thanks and gratitude to her also.
Well, these are very, very special young adults. They have grown immensely this year, and it's a proud time for us to bestow upon them these very special school board stoles. And thank you all for your dedication and commitment as a student board member for this 22-23 school year. And we have enjoyed hearing your school updates, input, so valuable, values and innovative ideas. We appreciate your hard work and participation. You have been a valued member of our PSUSD team. On behalf of the students and staff of Palm Springs Unified School District and members of our governing board and administration, it is a pleasure to present you with this sash and plaque of recognition for 2022-23. So we'll put those on you, and then you can talk if you want, okay? Do you want to start with Angelique? Do you want us to put them on you? Yeah, okay. She wants us to put them on. Okay. Okay, and we're going to let them say a few words. Go ahead, Anjali.
Okay, I just want to thank my admin and Mr. Brown, my ASB advisor, for this opportunity. I would also like to thank the board just for making us feel very welcomed. Also, the group of kids I work with, well, young adults now, us growing up. It was great to work with you guys. Love you guys. Yeah. Slay. Okay, thank you guys.
Hi, well, I'm Mariana Flores. I'm from Desert Hot Springs High School, and first of all, I want to thank my admin as well, and Dr. Velasquez. She's the USB Activities Director at Desert Hot Springs High School, and of course the board for letting me serve and just letting me be for my school. And of course, thank you to my other board members. You guys were slay. So.
I want to thank the board. It's been such a privilege to be with all of you. And I want to thank my ASB class and my ASB advisor. You've all just been super encouraging this entire year, and I couldn't have done it without you. I just have so much gratitude to all of you.
Yeah, so similar to what they all said, I'd love to thank the board for just giving us this opportunity and to be able to work with them and getting to network and meet all these amazing people. And truly, as I'd love to thank my ASB advisor, George Howell. He's extremely amazing, everything that he does for us and the students and the ASB class as well to be able to provide a good environment for the school. So.
Congratulations, congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
We're so proud of you.
You sure you don't want to sing a song before you leave? Love that attitude. God. Yeah. All right.
Please rise. Thank you. Woo, woo. Can I take this off? Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone on the live stream. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, there you go. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice night, everyone.
Very nice. I'm gonna contact the Firebirds, man. Okay. Wow, that was fun. Next up is public comments. So, Clerk Espericueta, have we received any email comments?
Yes, President Girardi, we received 2 electronic comments that have been distributed to the Board of Education.
Okay, thank you. Next up is in-person comments. All comments to be directed to the board be under 3 minutes, please, and shall be devoid of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during public comments. Board members do not respond because it's not an agendized item. My first public speaker is Ann Green. Is it Ann?
Hello, good evening. I'd just like to address the concerns about the health and safety of my daughter and the students at the South Wing in Palm Springs High School. My daughter was exposed to alpha and beta radiation in rocks located in the science lab at Palm Springs High School. She's had several lasting effects, which lead to 3 visits to the urgent care and to 2 hospitals who are unaware of how to treat her because the effects are so rare. She has been out of school for 7 days and critical time for the testing right now. What actions are being made to remove radioactive material and to ensure no other chemicals are in their school? There is 3 other students involved with symptoms during this incident. Have the other parents been notified of the dangers considering the radiation has possibly long-term effects, including cancer? I'd just like to thank you very much. That would be it.
Thank you very much. Our next public speaker will be Chuck Mills, please.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chuck Mills. I'm a teacher at James Workman, and for the better part of the last 11 years, been the bargaining chair for Palm Springs Teachers Association. And as I get ready to retire in June, I want to take one last opportunity to thank this board and past board members for everything that you guys have contributed in bargaining. I want to thank you for your guidance and what you've done to help this district. And I also want to thank the members of the cabinet who have been so valuable to attracting and retaining quality educators. As I get ready to leave, I'm very, very proud of the collective bargaining that we have in our district. I think it is going to attract and attain amazing educators. I'm very, very pleased about that. Dr. Sweezy, I just want to kind of individually thank you. You're not at the table, but I know what you do behind scenes. And I'm proud that I've known you for pretty much our entire career together, that we go back about 33 years together. And thank you for everything. And we have an amazing leader here in our district, so thank you for that. Dr. Murray, I want to thank you because all 11 years that I've been doing bargaining, you were at the table. It's been your job to make the numbers work, for financially to walk that thin line of, offering the best contract that we can offer all our educators, all the members of our district, and still be financially responsible for the district. And I've watched you for 11 years do an amazing job at that, and I want to thank you for that. And finally, I got to thank Dr. Senior Ray. I teach middle school volleyball one day, and the next day I go to bargaining, and the way Dr. Senior Ray has treated our entire bargaining team has been so professional and so good, and I just can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for us. It's just, you are the best at being an HR director and an HR leader, and I just wish people knew how good you are at working these deals and making this happen for us. So to everybody, I thank you. I wish you guys all the best of luck in the future. This district's in wonderful hands. We have a great collective bargaining agreement, so thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Chuck. And enjoy your retirement.
You too, Dr.
All right, that's it on my speaker cards. So that brings us to our one presentation this evening, which is the Palm Springs Unified School District Early Childhood Education Annual Self-Assessment. And I think Dr. Kovacs is going to tee this up for us.
Yes, we have our director, Myra Acosta. Don't be nervous, Myra. She's going, great job. Come on up and share your presentation. That's the information about your annual assessment.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Myra Acosta. I'm the Early Childhood Director. Okay, thanks. I get really nervous when I have to speak, okay? So I forget everything, so bear with me. Okay, so part of our self-assessment that we do for our Head Start for our federal programs is we analyze 10% of our program. So why we do that is part of our Head Start performance standards and our Title 45, that's one of the titles utilized, states that every single year we should, it's best practice to audit kind of ourselves. So what we do is what we call it's the internal monitoring process system. So we look at the entire program, measure the program's accomplishments, strength, weaknesses, and we look for the supported continuous quality improvement approach to managing the Head Start and the early Head Start programs. So part of the team, we involved a lot of stakeholders. So we involved ourselves, outside stakeholders, teachers, families. We involved we had 3 parent councils from our policy councils. We had our office technicians. We had other areas from our own district within. We had mental health, nutrition services, and we had also Karen Johnson there, our union president, supporting us in the governance piece and also in the early Head Start socialization and facilities and health and safety pieces. So we also had the honor of having her there and giving us feedback as to what are we looking at and how are we doing in our context areas. Part of the context areas in a federal program are we look at students as a whole, the whole family. What is the family's needs in order to assure that the family is getting the support that they need to get them into the next steps. For example, we do a family partnership agreement where we're looking at families' goals and setting them up. Okay, what are their goals? Is it going back to high school? Is it getting their GED? Is it learning English? What are those goals, and how do we break it down to assure that these goals are accomplished by the end of the school year and we're consistently checking in? So part of that process is also documenting everything that we do in all context areas. So part of that we review during the self-assessment every single year is education services, health services, family services, disability, mental health services. ERSI is our enrollment process through the federal guidelines, and we conduct classroom observations, safe environments, medication, and first aid kits on all of our sites. So that's one thing, because I don't only do 10%, we try to do all of our Head Start sites just because we want to assure students' health and safety at all times. We also do interviews. In those interviews, we had teachers, coordinators, TOSAs, we did parent interviews. And especially in the parent interviews, I want to see how much they know about our program and the services that we provide, that we're giving as much information as possible. Now, what I take from the parent group interview is if parents get stuck in an area, for example, mental health. So is that a self-reflection area that we need to do a better job in delivering that information? So that's part of the information that I also look at within the interviews. So some of the program strength that was identified was the management systems and governance, effective organization structure and high performance team, effective record keeping, our communication, effective monitoring system. So the monitoring system that I said that we utilize is internal monitoring systems that I'm mocking what a federal review would look like once they come and audit our program. So we try to look at the same type of assessment that they will utilize, and we mock it to assure that when the feds come, we are ready and always prepared. We're data-driven, so we look at a lot of the data. So part of this data, and you'll see our percentage of where we came out at, and I compare it also what our internal monitoring states comparing to monitoring from outsiders as well. Context areas that are positive and supportive interactions between, so some of the things that we really identified were the positive supportive interactions between teachers and children, the collaboration with community agencies. The majority of families were in a goal-setting process. That's a family partnership agreement. The documentation in the children's education file was up to date and thoroughly completed, and staff work cohesively with each other. additional program strengths are the 45-day requirements and follow-ups, the establishment of medical and dental homes up to date with immunizations, classrooms are need and interest areas well organized, school readiness advisory committees, and quality of services delivered. And in health and safety, we were also able to identify an effective system for identifying and following up on safety concerns, having up-to-date medication information, and up-to-date first aid kits inventory. So part of the areas of improvement that we need to continue to improve on is part of lack of family style during meal times. So that is something during COVID that we switched and changed to accommodate students' health and safety, but because it's still a mandate and because that's part of the monitoring system, so I still docked ourselves in that area and will continue to work to improve that area as well. Policies and procedures, I placed that were not completely aligned with COVID-19 changes. As we have our procedure, then on top of that, we added additional pieces for COVID without deleting the original policy. So that's the reason I also docked that, and because a lot of things have changed and have been lifted in the federal guidelines, that's something that I need to address before our next school year. Safe environments will continue to be monitored indoor and outside all the time. And that's something that I placed, and not because we were deemed low, and you'll see our percentages in a few seconds, but because it's children's safety. So that's always a huge concern that we want to assure that we're always addressing it. So these are some of the checklists with the outcomes that we utilize. This is an example of everything that goes into our database. And then from that, I start extracting all the data to see this information. So this information really tells us how we did in all areas. So in medication, it was 100% compliant. Family services files, 100% compliant. FCE policies, so those we need to work on. So that was 95%. Mental health files, 98%. Mental health CUMES were 95. So if there's an error while we're transferring the data entry into the system, and then we catch it, so that's why we ding ourselves for that as well. Disability services, 98% compliant. ERC eligibility file, that's at enrollment, 98% compliant. ERC attendance, 100%. ERC policies, 97%. Classroom observations, 100%. Safe environments, 99%. And child's education file, 96%. And early Head Start policies and Head Start policies, 98%, giving us a grand total of a 98% program compliant, which brings us to a strong and very high quality program. Is there any questions? Yes, we did it. Okay, thank you very much.
Any questions? Oh, hold on. Any questions? Nobody? All right, well, thank you very much, Myra.
Okay, thank you. Can I just add one little comment?
Sure.
I know the grant will be coming for an approval in a few minutes. There has been a slight change in the Head Start grant, not in the early Head Start grant. And it was just done a few hours ago. They gave me an approved increase. So I have to redo the grant numbers and a lot of the signature pages, and I'll be working on that this week. So that it's just off a little bit, but it's actually a positive. It's more work for me, but it's an increase of funds. So that will be coming down your way as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care now. All right, next item is board member comments. Anybody have anything they want to share this evening?
All right, I'll start.
All right.
Okay, so on April the 23rd, I went to Coast to Coast training in Washington, D.C., where we had a 3-day training where we're lobbying for the districts and the state of California. It was a large group of administrators as well as board members that met, that were from California, that met in Washington, D.C., and then we lobbied We spoke with all of our congressmen, and for our area, we had Ken Covert, and then we also had Raul Ruiz. And so we were able to speak with them. Some of the topics that we discussed had to do with nutrition. There's a new bill that's being put in place where they're reducing sugar and sodium for our students. And we came to a consensus that it was important to kind of slow up the process of this bill just to allow our students to catch up. We already have a problem with our students eating food at school. So we decided that it was something that we should push to have that bill slowed up so we can be able to get it under control and kind of do more of an assessment on that reduced sodium. Special education was another topic. The state of California is having a tough time hiring special ed teachers, special ed administrators and everything else. So that was something that was high on the list. We also, and then there was another thing that kind of stood out to me, and that's that 28% of the people in the United States don't have kids. So that was something that was kind of exciting that jumped out at me. During the whole process, I had a wonderful weekend. The end was terrible. So I woke up at 3 a.m., was in the airport in Washington, D.C. My flights were delayed all the way until about 7 o'clock. So I stayed in the airport till about 7 o'clock. It was a large group of ladies that was sitting on the side, and we rented a rent-a-car because they were going to delay our flight and have us stay in the airport for another day or give us a hotel. So we all got in a car and we drove from Phoenix all the way here to Palm Springs. So it was 4 random people that we had no idea who each other were. We got in a car, rented a car, and drove all the way here. So at the end, it kind of turned out to be okay, but I didn't get home until like 12 o'clock. So I was in the airport from 3 a.m. all the way until 12. So I had a really tough time there. Later in March, May the 1st, we had an event that was amazing. We had the Kente Stall presentation from the African American Parent Advisory. This is the 3rd year that we've had it. And this event is where students get an opportunity to get stalls from our parents in the district. Our parents give our students, they find a way to secure funds for our students. So we get our young students that are seniors and graduating, we give them a stall. They get a stall to wear at their graduation, and the looks and the smiles on the kids' face about how excited they were to be able to get some of these students might not have anything on their graduation gown when they graduate. So this is something that they are really excited about. We look forward to continuing this, and we just thank Palm Springs Unified School District for getting on board with this. And that's kind of what I have for my member comments.
Thank you, Mr. Irvin. Anybody else? Member Cornett?
Yes, thank you. Thanks to our student board members, Matthew and Christopher, for your excellent reports tonight. It's been a pleasure knowing you and the rest of the student board members. You did an outstanding job this year. I was fortunate enough to attend MTU's The Prom play, which was fabulous. I also attended the English language learner reclassification ceremony, and Jolie, she actually sang there also. Mm-hmm. So that was the first time I'd ever heard her sing. That was great. She sang the national anthem. She has a really gorgeous voice. I also got to attend the APAC Kente Stoll Award Night. It was fabulous. Thank you very much. And I was able to attend the Career and Technical Education Showcase, which really showcases all of our academic academies, which I think we should be very, very, very proud of. They're excellent. Also, congratulations to our district's AXA winners, Dr. Signoret, Lavanya Pitts, and Omar Tinoco and Erica Tuna. A huge thank you and appreciation to all of our teachers for all of the wonderful work that you do with our students and families. And I'm really looking forward to the end of the year events. Thank you.
Thank you. Madonna?
All right. I'm going to start with staying connected with kids, our kids, every day, in every way. And I want to send out a message, and she might not be listening or watching, but this is to our Palm Springs Mayor, Grace Garner. She has been appearing and staying at almost every single Palm Springs Unified event that's near and close to Palm Springs, or even coming out of Palm Springs to Ranch Mirage. Seeing her come to our events and support our kids is just 2 thumbs up. So Grace, if you're listening, thank you. We appreciate your collaboration and help in supporting all of our students every day in every way. So that was really important to shout out to her. Also, all of our principals and all of our people up here, administrative support, and helping to show up at most every single event that the board goes to and beyond that. And so most every time we're seeing the same principals. We're seeing assistant principals. We're seeing our administrators here. We're seeing some representatives from the district coming through to help show the kids they care, or we care. That's what it's about, we care. So thank you again for taking the time beyond your day to show that face. And I think that's really important, to be there in person. We are so fortunate to have so many teachers that are dedicated in our district. And in some districts, we get a chocolate bar. In some districts, we get a pen. In some districts, we get a note of thanks or a Starbucks card from our union. And sometimes there's no gift. Sometimes in my district, the board members would make it their way around to every classroom the week of teacher appreciation. So we want you to know that if there's 20,000 students and we divide that by 25 students in each class, that would be 800 classrooms. Now we are with you in spirit, and we have all been teachers, and all parents are teachers. You gentlemen are teachers. Everyone is taking the time to help someone grow, and that's what it's about. So we give that appreciation out to not just teachers, classified, every single employee in our district who takes the time to honor a student, a child, and even say good morning or good night to them. So thank you again. On the 21st of May, I was at a concert at the Galen with combined orchestras. And did you know that our orchestras and our choirs are combining together and joining in to go to festivals, joining in to combine bands, joining in to present concerts. And this is just amazing that the talent is not segregated, it's integrated across the districts. So there was a performance, and I have a little clip from this performance. And the name of the student, his name is Sid Garza. And I'm bringing you an artifact right from Sid, and he did Lady Sing the Blues, The Man I Love. And the reason I picked this little clip for you to hear his trumpet is because he made all county orchestra, Sid Garza. So here he is with Dr. Brian McDaniel. Oh, that was it. Here it is. Amazing. So it makes me want to take you back there and hear him and see him as he goes on to the county to join in as a representative, one of only one band member in the entire district to represent us at the county. So kudos to all of the orchestra, jazz band, the trumpet players, the Maestro Awards, these Crystal Award winners, 5 seniors. 3 of them won the Crystal Awards. They're called Maestros for this song called Running of the Bulls. If I played that for you, you wouldn't want me to stop. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So seeing them join together and then seeing the choirs join together on another song fest on April 26th with Nellie Kaufman, Desert Hot Springs High School, Cathedral City High School, Palm Springs High, Cielo Vista. They did an African song called Jambo, and they stood up and took over the whole theater to sing this Swahili song for the parents and visitors. It was amazing, and so I have to say a shout out to them. The Song Festival, there was a band director from Cielo Vista. Her name is Christina Harrell. And I finally got to meet her in person. I could only see her with her back to me at all the performances. So I met her at the Air Museum when we did the CTE showcase. That was the first time I've been to the Air Museum for the showcase. And I didn't want to leave. It was just stupendous. The academies from Cathedral City, Desert Hot Springs, Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage, the ROTC Marine Corps group from DHS, our King's Circle came and they did their performance. It was a collaboration of more than CTE. It was a collaboration of talent. So there's so many academies that I want to learn more about and go back and see. I went to the Kentastall ceremony. That was my first one too. It was the kids, the pride, their smiles. They were so gracious and so happy to be honored. All of these events, and then on May 5th, I went to the Sunrise Film Festival at the Richards, and to see films back made by students, and hearing the students behind me say, "Oh, that's my movie. That's me." And they were just so excited to be live on this giant stage. And then they got trophies, like Emmy Awards for their films. Now, this is interesting about films, is they don't just film. They do the writing, they do the collaboration, they do the storyboard, they do all of that. They pick the music, they then film it, and then they edit it. And so they do all of this background that I never really realized how much time it took and work it took. So I am encouraging all of our students across the district to stay involved with VAPA, with Visual and Performing Arts, and keep up the great work. Last night I was with Sergio Espericueta, and kudos to Tony Signore, Lasonia, and Eric Atuna, and Omar Tinoco. We are proud of you for your AXA awards. So one more thing. Feliz Dia de los Madres. Tomorrow is Happy Mother's Day in Mexico. And for others too, on Sunday, Happy Mother's Day. And again, Happy Teacher Appreciation Day. Enjoy your time. That's it.
Thank you. Sergio?
Yeah. Thank you, President Girardi. Yeah, in April, from April 23, but we live here at 22 and return in 27 to the events called Coast to Coast. Was a federal advocacy trip. This was organized by the California School Board Association and the Association of California School Administrators. I attended with my colleague Charlie Irving. I want to start telling him that we found that I was working with his dad, and because I never relate, but because that happened a couple years ago, and in Riviera Hotel in Palm Springs, was one of my best friends, co-worker. He made me happy many times. Thank you. And this delegation, this was one California delegation of about 250 school district board members, superintendents, administrators, and Charlie, he already tell everything, that all talking point that we was advocating for. But also I want to add that another speaker that included in the trip was Javier Becerra. He is a Secretary, Department of Health and Human Services, and Cindy Long, Administrator at USDA Food and Nutrition Services from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and Kevin Kelly is another congressman. And during the first day, they prepare us to be more informed, to visit the Congress and people that is called it the Capitol Day, when we had one big visit. I had the opportunity to be in one reception. I had the opportunity to shake hands Mrs. Pelosi, and that is one example how many opportunities do the school district, to everyone. I have that unique opportunity. And I recommend to everyone to go. My experience returning was a little bit different because when we planned the returning, we found that they don't have a seat for both. They have flight that only have one available seat if we want to return before. And we was making a lot of mistakes trying to figure out the best way to return together. And I received advice what to do using one process that I learned to call it a standby. But what was hard for me because when I returned from, I flew from Washington to Phoenix, but the next flight was I had to be there in around 10 minutes. I had to run. I don't have good condition. I almost get out, but I stopped a little bit, brief, and continued. And I was there like 5 minutes before to go in. I was the last one. But I make it, and I was here around 12 p.m. Yeah. And also in May 1st, I attend the APAC and ARC, the high school award night. And also this event included students sharing their experience about attending the HBCU college tour. And was good to know that they was happy and they had a good experience in that trip. And in May 2nd, I received a few days before, I received an invitation from Shaira Hernandez. She's the director of stakeholder engagement from Congressman Raul Ruiz. This one is a roundtable discussion for the 2023 Farm Bill that include language for nutritional service for families and students. And in May 4, I attended also the Palm Springs Unified School District CTE showcase. The sky is not the limit. That was the theme. This event put together all the Palm Springs Academy to give students, parents, and community members the opportunity to receive direct information on what each academy does. To give an example, many of these academies certify students in different modalities and offer dual enrollment courses to earn credits to college at the desert, and also they connect them to the universities around the county. May 5th, I attended the 5th Sunrise Student Film Festival. In this event, the students from different schools at the Palm Springs Unified School District present their film in different categories: documentary, narrative, and curricular. I see the board member Madonna's daughter running all the way in each film because it was a busy night for her. She made a lot of workout. And yesterday I attended the AXA Region 19 Spring Celebration Award Dinner. Congratulations to everyone that received that award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sergio. I think that was pretty comprehensive. The only thing I'd like to add is on May 4th, Desert Springs Middle School also hosted a CTE showcase. I want to shout out to Principal Drummond, and in particular, science teacher Brianna Carrick. They did an excellent job. They had a great turnout. A lot of families came out with their students to participate in it. So it's just another example of the good things that are happening in addition to everything these guys have been talking about. So thank you. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you, President Girardi. So for the superintendent report, I will also stay brief. I was going to mention many of those same events that I was fortunate enough to attend with our board members, and as President Girardi said, examples of so many great things that are taking place here in the district. I would like to talk for just a minute about our student board members and some other students in the district, and then about Teacher Appreciation Week and Day of the Teacher, Principal Day, and the month of May is full of appreciation. First, I just would like to say to our student board members, and I said this to them at dinner tonight, but I told them I'd say it publicly, you have made all of us better at governance, and I'm not speaking for the board, but as a member of cabinet and the superintendent, our school board envisioned having our student board members be much more involved. And you have helped make that happen because of your great enthusiasm and characteristics and your positivity. Your reports have been very comprehensive. You've always wanted to do whatever it was that the board wanted to do. You've shared your opinions and participated, and so thank you for that very, very much. I also want to share with the public and the board, we do know where a few of our student board members are going to school. Ann Jolie, who is a local product here and has said her family, her mom teaches here, her grandmother, her uncle, and she would love to return. She's going to be staying local and going to school at College of the Desert. Ariana, our student board member from Desert Hot Springs High School, will be attending Berkeley, as will Matthew, right, Matthew? So Matthew is also going to Berkeley, and Chris will be at Cal State San Marcos. And so congratulations to all four of you. That's so exciting, and we're so very, very proud of you. You really are examples of the amazing students in this district. I talk a lot about the amazing staff, and I need to talk more about the amazing students too, and you are great examples of that. Excuse me, I'd like also to share a very brief story about Ann Jolie singing, and thank you, Member Jarrell, for asking her to sing here tonight. So Ann Jolie, as you know, is one of our student board members, and I do get to know our student board members a little bit better than I get to know some of the other 20,000 students out in the district. And so I feel close to them and feel like I know them pretty well. And I was attending the English learner reclassification ceremony, and Ann Jolie was there, and we talked, and she said, well, don't you want to know why I'm here? And I said, sure, why are you here? I'm here to sing the national anthem. And she did a beautiful job, just as she did tonight. The reason I tell that story is because this is a young woman in our school district that I felt like I knew. But she has a talent that I knew absolutely nothing about. And so I think that same thing is true for the 20,000 students. Every single student in this district has a passion and has a talent, and it's our job to find out what it is and to help them to express it. Even kids we think we already know really well, there are things about them that we don't know, and our job is to get to know them and let them shine and be exactly who they are and who they want to be. And so I'm very, very proud of this district, and I learned something that day when I learned something about Ann Jolie. A couple other students, just to mention very quickly, I noticed in the audience we had Luke Calderon. He's going to be our Palm Springs. He left a few minutes ago. He's going to be our Palm Springs High School student board member next year, so he was here. That's exciting. And I also see another one of our students from Rancho Mirage High School who's a member of the technical theater group at Rancho Mirage High School, and I enjoyed speaking to you very much at the CTE showcase, so thank you for being here. And then just finally, as I said, the month of May is the month of appreciation. Really, as Madonna mentioned, it's hard to put into words our appreciation for all of the staff in this district. There are over 2,700 of us doing all kinds of important jobs, and no matter what your job is, the real reason we do it is to support students like this, our student board members, our student members in the audience, and our students across all of our schools in this district. So sincerely, thank you, principals, for your incredible leadership, and your specific day is May 1st, but it's every day. Thank you, teachers. This is the week of the teacher, and tomorrow, May 10th, is the day of the teacher, and thank you for your incredible dedication to the students in this district. We also have National School Nursing Day in May, and Classified Employee Week is also May 21st through the 27th. If I didn't mention your group, we still appreciate you. And May is the time that we try to remember to let you know just how much you mean to us and that you mean to this organization. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sweezy. That brings us to item 15, board action items. 15A is approval of certificated and classified employee transactions, OE 4.4. Dr. Signore.
Okay, if I could have Dr. Gregory Minton come on up. Oh, right over here. Okay. We're very pleased to recommend Dr. Gregory Minton for the position of Coordinator of Special Education Related Services. Dr. Minton holds 2 bachelor's degrees, one from the University of Guelph and the second from the University of Windsor. He also earned a master's degree from the University of Windsor and his doctorate from the University of Redlands. He started his career in teaching in 1997 as a resource specialist for the Rialto Unified School District for 9 years before joining Redlands Unified. During his career with Redlands, Dr. Minton has served as a teacher on special assignment, instructional coach, resource specialist, and most recently as a special education coordinator. In his current role, he is responsible for overseeing elementary SAI programs, including legal compliance. His responsibilities include managing itinerant teachers and speech pathologists, as well as promoting and implementing inclusive practices for the special education and general education programs. His current supervisor, Ms. Patty Buckmiller, shared that Dr. Minton has helped to develop a positive culture in the special education department. He has served in a variety of roles, and parents respond very well to him. We are very confident that Dr. Minton will be an excellent addition to the Palm Springs Unified Special Education Administrative Team. Congratulations, Dr. Minton. Anything that you'd like to share with the board and superintendent? Anybody you'd like to recognize tonight?
Thank you very much, Mr. Signore. As I spoke to the board earlier today, thank you again for this opportunity. I welcome this. I am honored that you selected me for this position. I hope to do you proud. In the audience, I have my wife, Shira Minton. She is an associate professor at Cal State Northridge. She's been there for the last several years and is my partner and my best friend and has always been my biggest cheerleader, so I'm happy that she's here tonight. Once again, I welcome this opportunity, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad we have the Cal State Northridge connection there. So send your teachers our way. Please, send them our way. All right. Next, I'd like to ask Mr. Adam Brown to come on up. It is with great pleasure we recommend Mr. Adam Brown as the Assistant Director of Nutrition Services. Mr. Brown has worked for Palm Springs Unified since 2021. First as a driver in nutrition services, and most recently as a field supervisor responsible for coordinating personnel to ensure safety, quality, as well as sanitation compliance at several school sites. Prior to Palm Springs Unified, Mr. Brown was employed in the grocery industry, serving as grocery manager, assistant store manager, and as store manager, where he received various awards for efficiency and excellence. Nellie Kaufman Principal, Dr. Karen Dimmick, describes Mr. Brown as having the ability to pivot and meet the needs of our schools. Mr. Brown's professionalism, work ethic, and demeanor have modeled a positive climate in nutrition services. We are confident that Mr. Brown will have an extremely positive impact as the new Assistant Director of Nutrition Services. Congratulations, Mr. Brown. Any words you'd like to share with the board and superintendent, and anybody you'd like to recognize?
Thank you so much, Dr. Signoret. Sincerely like to thank the cabinet and the board. I'd like to thank our amazing director, Sarah Phelps. Thank you for having faith in me. We have an amazing team in nutrition services. Some are here tonight. Letty's here, Donna's here, Mike is here. My dear, dear wife of 31 years is here. Thank you for your support and patience through the years. And thank you all for your support in being here tonight. Again, I'd like to thank the board, thank the cabinet. I'm beyond excited for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay, may I get a motion to approve the following employment agreements? Employment agreement with Gregory Minton, Coordinator of Special Education Related Services, Salary Schedule 223, Column 4, Step 7, effective March 29th, 2023. An employment agreement with Adam Brown, Assistant Director of Nutrition Services, Salary Schedule Range 34, Step 1, effective May 10th, 2023.
I move the approval.
We have a motion. Can we get a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. All right, congratulations, and we wish you both much success going forward. All right, item 15B, adoption of resolution 2022/2023-48 of the Board of Education of the Palm Springs Unified School District, authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $55 million of the Palm Springs Unified School District 2023 General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series A, prescribing the terms of the sale for such bonds, authorizing execution and delivery of a preliminary official statement and an official statement for such bonds, approving a bond purchase agreement and method of sale, approving certain documents and agreements, making findings and determinations, and taking related actions. So may I get a motion for item 15B?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Well, any discussion or questions?
Can I just say, we've discussed this over and over again. So I really appreciate, Brian, me bringing it to us, Dr. Murray, and really discussing with us and letting us know what it was all about. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Member Cornett. And we do have from Dale Scott and Company, Joe Crump in the front row. He's here to answer any questions you may have with respect to both refundings that we're asking you approve tonight.
Does he want to give us the whole presentation all over again?
No.
I'm
Okay.
kidding.
All right. Thank you.
Could I just have Joel say a few words and reiterate what we're voting on so that the public knows exactly as well?
My name is Joe Crump from Dale Scott and Company, and good evening, everyone. So yeah, I'd be happy to just kind of give a recap of the two items on the agenda tonight. Sounds like I think Dr. Murray has done a great job of explaining everything, but just to give a recap I think would be helpful for everyone. So there are two items on the agenda. The first is the approval of the resolution for the 2023 General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series A. And then the second is the approval of the 2023 General Obligation Bonds, Series B. And so the reason there's two refunding bonds is the first is refunding the 2008 election Series C, which was issued by the district in 2013, and it is now callable as of August 2023, so just in a few months. And the second, the Series B refunding bonds, will refinance the district's 2013 General Obligation Refunding Bonds, which were also issued in 2013. And so now those bonds will be callable as of August 2023. So I think I do have some projections just to kind of give you an idea of the savings that we expect from the refinancings. So for the Series A bonds, obviously this will depend on market rates, which, as I'm sure everyone knows from the news, interest rates are fluctuating quite a bit the last few months. But as of the end of April, the Series A bonds are expected to generate taxpayer savings of about $9.6 million. That is a much larger bond. The refunding of the Series C bonds are expected to generate savings of about $440,000, but that bond is much smaller. It's only about $6 million. So that still represents about 6% of 6% savings of the refunded bonds. So yeah, that's a general summary, but happy to answer any other questions the board may have. Thank you.
Yes, either way, it's a win-win for both of them. We're saving taxpayers' money.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Joel. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Let's just do the other one real quick. 15C, adoption of resolution 2022/2023-49 of the Board of Education of Palm Springs Unified School District, authorizing and providing for the issuance of not to exceed $7 million of Palm Springs Unified School District 2023 General Obligation Refunding Bonds, Series B, prescribing the terms of sale for such bonds, authorizing execution and delivery of a preliminary official statement and an official statement for such bonds, approving a bond purchase agreement and method of sale, approving certain documents and agreements, making findings and determinations, and taking related actions. May I get a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
How about a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. So I think I would like to go back to 15A, to be determined?
Yeah.
Okay. And can I get a motion to approve the following employment agreement with Gregory Minton, Coordinator of Special Education Related Services, salary schedule 223, column 4, step 7, the effective date to be determined. We have a motion. How about a second, please?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor with that?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That takes us to 15D, adoption of resolution number 2022/2023-51, notice of intention to grant an easement to Southern California Edison for the Desert Hot Springs High School electric vehicle charging stations, OE 12.2. May we get a motion for that, please?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. May we get a second? A motion, a second. Anybody have any questions or discussions? We had a presentation. We know what it's about. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. 15E, approval of monitoring report, governing policy OE11, operational expectations, learning environment and treatment of students, OE11. And Dr. Kovats, do you want to address this?
Sure, thank you very much. So as you know, at our last board meeting, April 18th, during the study session, we reviewed the information related to Operational Expectations 11, which, as you said, is treatment of students and the learning environment. And really, it highlights the fact that we want to ensure that it's a positive culture and climate on campus so that it's optimal for student learning. And in that discussion, we determined that we're making reasonable progress in all of those assurances, with the exception of one area, which was 11.2, which is create and maintain a safe and respectful learning environment. And there was a slight drop in the data, which our indicator is the panorama survey. So we indicated that we're making reasonable progress on that operational expectation with the exception of that area, which will continue to work on and look at some additional indicators so we can really communicate all of the effective practices we have in place instead of just using that one data point.
Thank you, Dr. Kovats. Can we get a motion to approve this item? And how about a second?
Second.
Second.
Anybody have any comments or questions?
I'm excited that you're interested in looking for more data points and other influences to help us guide our planning. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Thanks. 15F, approval of monitoring report governing policy R3, academic achievement for citizenship. May I get a motion to approve that?
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. 15G, approval of new middle school and high school course descriptions for the 2023-24 school year, OE10. And I guess, Dr. Kovats, you have something?
Okay. So for middle school, we have 2 courses we are asking the board to approve this evening. They're elective courses, and the first one was submitted by Desert Springs Middle School, which is an introduction to Hispanic cultures, and it's a 7th grade course for students it's intending to be an introductory course to Spanish 1 and 8th grade, and students will have the opportunity to practice introductory, basic Spanish words in the context of learning about various Spanish cultures. And we also have restorative mediation from Nellie Kaufman Middle School, which is a course and an opportunity for students to demonstrate leadership skills and work with peers focused on finding conflict resolution. And this course in peer mediation is a part of the site's restorative practice that they implement. And once those are approved, they would be available for other middle schools as well.
Okay, thank you. Can we get a motion to approve that?
I got a comment.
We have to we have to have a motion and a second first. And then
Move for approval?
how about a second?
Second.
Okay, comments?
All right, so I just wanted to know, so is that something that the schools would have to pick up, or is it something that we'll roll out as a district? So say like if with the restorative mediation, is that something that is the school has to ask for, or is it something that's rolled out by the district?
Well, if they want this particular course, they would submit the request for that course to Curriculum Advisory, a group of people, teachers, administrators, district office personnel, discuss it, align it with CalPADS codes, and then once you approve, any middle school can utilize that course if they have the appropriate teacher.
Okay.
But if I understand his question, so it's going to be elective on the schools?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you also explain the process that a school goes through in order to get a new course approved?
A new course approved. Well, it does need to go, once it's developed and they align all of the codes so that we can align them in CalPADS, it then goes to Curriculum Advisory, which is a group who actually works together to approve courses. And they also have to ensure that it can fit into their master's schedule as well. And then it comes to the board after Curriculum Advisory, thank you, Board Member Cornett, for giving me that look. It comes to Executive Educational Services Team. We review it and determine whether or not if it has to go back to the advisory or the school site for additional information, or if we move it forward here to the board for approval.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. That was 15G. That brings us to 15H, approval of the Arts, Music, and Instructional Materials Discretionary Block Grant Plan, AMIMDBG OE10. Dr. Kovats, let you tee this up.
Yes, so I'm going to ask Dr. Pfeffer to come up and just provide a little information about this grant, but as you see here, is an arts, music, and instructional materials discretionary block grant plan, and he's going to share the purpose and rationale for it and the process that he went through to get input from our stakeholders.
Absolutely.
Will
Good
you
evening.
will you be pronouncing the acronym?
No.
Yeah,
There we go.
Sounds
Thank
about
you.
right. Sounds about right. Yeah, no. Thank you and good evening, everybody. I'll make the presentation quite brief, but as always, we'll pause for any questions that the board may have. This is the possibly longest title for a block grant that we've had in a while, and also points to a lot of different directions. So we'll hope to clarify a little bit of that as we go through the next couple of pieces. Really, this was created via two different pieces of legislation, starting out with AB 181 and then being amended by AB 185 as a one-time funding source really intended to help support the arts in schools. Palm Springs Unified's allocation in the initial allotments from the CDE was about $11.5 million. The figure is in the slide deck specifically. Note, though, that we're identifying that with a bit of an asterisk. The passing of Proposition 28 is directly impacting this as part of the current state budgeting process, and there are possibilities of this one-time funding source being reduced before the second allocation gets issued. So although we'll be passing or looking to pass a plan that speaks to the full $11.6 million. Please note that given the way that the budgeting cycle works this year, we may end up with less funds, and we'll certainly present that to you if that changes. Some allowable uses for this particular set of funds, it's pretty wide spanning. It includes things like professional development and instructional materials across some specific subject areas. I'll share those with you momentarily. Also, getting some additional instructional materials and professional development around school climate, developing some diverse book collections and culturally relevant texts with the idea of supporting independent reading for students, as well as the ability to use for operational costs that are including but not limited to things like healthcare cost increases or other operational expenses for the district, as well as the add-on for COVID-19 support should that be necessary. If you'll note in the allowable uses, arts and music is not explicitly stated anywhere in there. The intent of the legislation is actually that the expenditures proportionally support arts and music programming in addition to these other things. So as part of our plan design, we made sure to incorporate that particular piece, which was the intent of the legislature, as part of this particular funding source. So as I said, it's available to use for a certain set of specifically named subject areas. This is that particular list, and as you can see, it's quite widespread. It includes the 4 core subjects, as well as visual and performing arts. Other interesting topics, such as ethnic studies, computer science, media, and digital literacy can be also used for these fundings, as well as some of those school climate topics that are listed. So a lot of different opportunities for the district to buy instructional materials, to be able to add some professional development, possibly to create some additional courses down the road that would help to support these areas as well. Although there was not a requirement for input for this plan, as always in Palm Springs Unified, we connect with our educational partners and collect some. For this particular plan, we activated some of our LCAP resources as part of that, looking to collect some input from our LCAP district advisory team and parent advisory committee. The DLAC, our English Learner Advisory Committee, was also asked for input in this, as well as a group of arts and music teachers and school librarians brought together specifically to chip in on this plan because of the allowable uses involved. And so synthesizing all of that along with some of our LCAP survey data, we came with a distribution that looks like this within the plan document, looking to spend in 4 major areas across the board. Some of those will include curriculum and instructional materials, again, related to those subject matters shared previously. We do have a dedicated percentage that is blocked to arts and music program investments. These are going to be mostly one-time fund purchases, so they could be helping to improve items within a particular program at a school, or they could be to replace different items to help support programs. They could be to help get something started. We'll see how that plays out over the next 3 years. Also note that we have put a significant investment into upgrading our libraries as part of this, with making sure that we get those diverse and culturally relevant book collections in. As part of this plan document, each school would receive approximately $100,000 to purchase new reading materials and replace old and outdated reading materials to help expand and support those particular efforts, to help reinforce those school libraries and those book collections available to students at the site. Finally, that operational expenses and costs item is in there as well, giving a little flexibility to be able to support the plan in multiple different directions. So that's what I have to share with you this evening. Again, it's a multi-direction piece, a lot of different ways that it can be used. And so we feel as though based on our input and based on what we're looking at from our educational partners, that would be the best design for this particular funding source. I do want to reiterate one last time again, please note that that funding dollar value that you see both in the plan document and in the slides may be reduced due to the current budgeting process, and we'll keep the board apprised as to how that plays out over the next couple of months.
Thank you.
I'd like to pause and see if there's any questions.
Dr. Pfeffer, do you know how much money we're going to get from Prop 28, which is dedicated to the arts also?
That's a fantastic question, and I wish I had an answer for you currently. We're actually waiting for some of the specific regulation information around Proposition 28. We do have some estimates from groups like School Services of California that are giving us some ballpark figures, but we're waiting for some official information from CDE as well as some rules making around how that funding can be used. So we're intentionally going a little slow to go fast with those particular funds because we want to make sure that we meet things like the 80% staffing requirement, that it gets down to the school level, which is where those funds are intended to go as part of that legislation. And making sure that we're hitting those nuances appropriately as part of that process. Okay. I don't know, Dr. Murray, if there's anything you want to share further as Prop 28? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, Dr. Pfeffer, what about to upgrade the instruments for music, uniform, that can be used in that area? So?
It appears as though that's an allowable use, yes. That's some of those one-time investments in those programs. We have recently injected some replacement cost programs funds as part of that work as well, but this could certainly be used to help supplement those pieces, as long as it's going directly to the arts programs. And that would include things like bands and choirs and fine arts classes, all those different areas.
Yes, I got a question too. Can you put the slide back up, the last one you had about the, okay, so the question I have is the operational expenses and cost.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a large chunk of, is there any way that, what does that entail?
So operational expenses and costs could be a variety of different items. As noted in the allowable uses, it could include things like increasing costs for different things such as retirement, healthcare, those types of things. Could also be used for infrastructure items within the district that are normal operational pieces. Really the idea is this provides some additional flexibility on funds. Dr. Murray, do you want to better define what may else fall into that category?
Right. Dr. Pfeffer's correct in the description of that. It's really anything that falls under the scope of the grant would be included in that amount. So it's a very general catch-all kind of grouping for anything that may arise that would fall under the guidelines of the grant.
And I also noticed that the diversity and cultural books are pretty almost the same price as the operational fees, and all the other groups are quite a little bit more. What was took into consideration to reach that?
Yeah, I can respond to that directly. We were looking at, in essence, what book costs would be in order to add to our library collections as well as replace existing items. Some of the amounts that came forward were actually lower than what was allocated into the plans of what we thought would be good amounts based on educational partner input. In that particular area, each school site will have approximately $100,000 into each for their particular use, where they will connect with their educational partners at their school to help determine what some of those moves are, in addition to looking at their current collections through the programs that we use to catalog those things and seeing where those holes may be. So that's a pretty sizable injection, certainly the largest one I've heard of in quite some time. I'll defer to Executive Cabinet if they can recall another one larger than that for this particular function. But our plan, where that specific figure came up with, is simply the 26 sites at $100,000 apiece.
Yeah.
And so the librarians will be coming up with this, or will our diversity and racial equity component, will they be also assistant? And then will you also have community members or stakeholders involved in that decision-making of the books that are being purchased?
Our goal is to be collaborative with this, as we are with most of our fund expenditures. So we'll be looking to build those partnerships. Each site will be asked to connect with educational partners to hear from students, from parents, as to what types of books may be best appropriate. As we stated earlier in the presentation, librarians were part of the planning group. They also will have a major role in this process, as well as teachers at the site. And then there will be district interaction with that as well.
And so parents will be involved as well?
Yeah, they're part of that educational partner group, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I think I was thinking about the technology that's included in the subjects in school climate areas, and computer science and artificial intelligence coming out to us and learning about how that can benefit our students in learning. I don't see that technology as part of the expenditure summary, or that technology teachers or people are going to be part of the input of collection. And so I just wondered, we have these 4 priorities on slide 6. Those were voted on by those 4 groups only?
Input was collected from those 4 groups, as well as input used from our LCAP surveys to help fill in some of those gaps as well. Keep in mind, this is one of many funding sources, and being a one-time funding source, hiring staff with this funds would be an unwise use because of those recurring costs. So when looking at some of those one-time expenditures, that goal of curriculum, instructional materials, and professional developments could be used to support technology-based courses, as long as they were in those subject areas that we showed previously. Hiring staffing, though, is unlikely as part of this funding source.
That's good. People cost a lot of money, don't they?
It's the ongoing cost of that, too, right? We want to make sure we can keep the good folks as long as possible.
I know,
So,
I know.
yeah.
To sustain it, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have a motion and do we have a motion? Can I get a motion for 15H, please?
Move for approval.
And a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Fever.
Thank you very much.
15I, approval of 2023 certificated summer school teachers, OE4. May I get a motion to approve item 15I?
I move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
15J, approval of 2023 certificated summer school substitute teachers, OE 4.4. May we get a motion to approve 15J?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. 15K, approval of comprehensive school safety plan 2022/2023, OE 11. May we get a motion for that item?
Move.
We have a motion. How about a second tonight?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. So should we vote on this Head Start grant application if it's going to change?
I think we can go ahead and vote on that because Myra is just going to make some adjustments on the budget, and then she'll bring that back for the board approval. Is that okay, Myra? Yes.
All right. 15L, approval of Head Start and Early Head Start grant application, OE 10.1. May we get a motion on that, please?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. Would somebody like to make a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. 15M is approval of authorized signatures, OE6. May we get a motion for that?
Move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. 15N, approval of budget for Cathedral City High Modernization Project, OE 12.13. May we get a motion for that, please?
I move for approval.
Thank you. We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
That
Aye.
motion passes. 15O, approval to award contract C0004568 to SGH Architects in conjunction with previously awarded RFQ number 2201, Architectural Services OE 6.2. May we get a motion for that?
I move.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. 15P, approval to award RFP number NS 2401 for the 2023-2024 school year, grocery, processed USDA commodity and commercial food products, OE 6.3. May we get a motion to approve that, please?
Move for a motion.
How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. 15Q, approval to award RFP number NS 2402 for the 2023-2024 school year, dairy products, OE 6.3. How about a motion?
I move.
We have a motion. How about a second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes. 15R, approval to award RFP number NS 2403 for the 2023-2024 school year, fresh produce broadline, OE 6.3. Somebody like to make a motion?
Move for approval.
We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. So items 15S through 15W, we will vote on in one vote, and that's the approval of expulsion case 2022/2023-50, expulsion case 2022-2023-56, expulsion case 2022/2023-58, expulsion case 2022/2023-59, and expulsion case 2022/2023-60, recommendation and findings of fact and conclusion of law. May we get a motion to approve items 15S through 15W?
Move for approval. Did we change one of the recommendations?
I think Laura has that. Laura's
Okay.
got it. Yeah. All right, we have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Item 16 is the superintendent's consent item. We will vote on items 16A through 16G in one vote unless somebody would like an item pulled for further discussion or exploration.
Yes, President Girardi, I want to pull item 16D for separate discussion on vote.
Which one, I'm sorry?
16D.
D?
The
Approval of the new job description, digital media specialist?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, so we will vote on items 16A, B, C, E, F, and G, unless somebody wants something else pulled. No? Okay. So can we get a motion for those items? We have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Then it takes us to item 16D, approval of new job description, digital media specialist, OE 4.7. I guess we need a motion and a second first, and then we can. Motion, how about a second?
Second.
Okay, Sergio.
Yes, board members, I know that we already discussed the one almost 1 year ago. and I want, to ask the board to consider to put the job description more solid in related to be bilingual. I take couple notes, for example, in the 2020 census data, almost 90,000 of the residents living in the school district boundaries, they are Hispanic or Latino, and that is 46% of the entire population of the school district's boundary. And around 80% of the students are Hispanic or Latino, and 30% of those are English learners. I know that the Dr. Suisse administration is doing the best in that area. I like the way that he sent us the Friday report, highlighting that we have considered how to communicate with the Spanish speaker population. And I want to request to be digital media specialist bilingual, and in the area that say education and experience, to say the ability to communicate verbally and write it to audiences in English and Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Okay, thank you. Somebody want to address that, why it's not a little more explicit?
This is actually more explicit than the one we brought a year ago, and so we had extensive discussion around this and believe that, and I don't want to speak for the Human Resources Department, but believe that using the word bilingual preferred is a very strong statement that says when we're presented with two candidates of equal, if one is bilingual, we would prefer that strength in this position. I'm actually pretty confident that we'll be able to recruit highly qualified candidates who are bilingual. This job description lets us open up that application process and interview everybody and then make the best selection. So in working with the team, we felt as though using the term bilingual preferred does send a strong message. And I know we shared with you in the Friday communication, our advertising for the position will also really focus on bilingualism as a skill. But as far as the job description, the one I'm presenting you just gives the district flexibility moving forward. And I don't know if Dr. Signore would like to add to that, or Ms. Pitts.
No, Dr. Suisse, I think that captures it accurately in working with the superintendent and the team and trying to meet the needs of what was being sought. This was the recommendation of creating a job description that, yes, is a little more concrete in that regard, but does allow for some flexibility in the recruitment process.
And I apologize. I'm glad you brought this up because I missed this. I'm looking at this, what I don't understand is under knowledge of oral and written communication skills, correct English usage, why wouldn't we have correct Spanish usage? Correct English and Spanish usage. I mean, we're identifying one.
Right. No, I understand that.
Yeah, that could be included. The intent of what was written, though, was on, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. No, it was just on multiple languages, not just in Spanish. So that's why that wasn't included there. But, Mr. Girardi, that could be included. Again, and just in our communication and working with the superintendent, what the goals we're trying to achieve here was just trying to create something that, again, was broader in the scope of what we can recruit, but at the same time emphasizing the importance of being able to communicate with audiences of multiple languages accurately. But yes, Spanish could be included in there.
Okay, thank you. What I'm saying is under knowledge of, where it says oral and written communication skills, correct English usage, you put correct English and Spanish usage. Okay? Does that work for everybody? where it says oral and written communication skills, correct English usage, grammar, spelling, punctuation. We put correct English and Spanish usage.
Is there anything else that we could put in there? I know there's quite a bit of things that we usually put in our recommendations that kind of give the impression that that is something that we're interested in. Can we put that somewhere in here to have that language so the applicants can get an idea that that is what we're looking for?
And that's a great comment, Member Irvin. Our intent was to do that in the advertising of the position. So this being the job description, but in the advertising, and I think I tried to express that in the Friday. The intent is to advertise for a bilingual Spanish candidate, and so we would highlight that in the advertising.
Well, if that's what we're advertising for, I think they should have knowledge of it.
No, I understand. I don't think your comment under knowledge of, or I just lost knowledge and abilities. I think that makes sense.
What's the matter? Yeah.
We're adding a word.
Yeah, I think we could just say we'll approve it with this.
Yeah.
Right. All right. With this amendment, with this change in the language.
The knowledge and abilities line. Do you have that one, Erica? Or Tony?
Yes, I do. So it would just be as
Oral
Mr.
and
Jordan.
written communication skills, correct English and Spanish usage, grammar, spelling, punctuation, and vocabulary. If we're going to be advertising for bilingual people, I don't know why that ability wouldn't be in this knowledge that we're requiring. Right? Okay. So we'd like to make that adjustment, Dr. Signoret, please.
Understood. Not a
Okay.
problem.
Yeah, and we'll vote. We have a motion and a second with this amendment. Okay? Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Pass. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is the board consent item, where we vote on approval of our meeting minutes for April 18th, 2023. Can we get a motion for that, please?
Move for approval.
How about a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
18 is informational items. 18A is first reading of revisions of Administrative Regulation 3260, Fees and Charges, OE 8.1. 18B, first reading of revisions to Board Policy 3460, Financial Reports and Accountability, OE 8.1. 18C, first reading of revisions to Administrative Regulation 3460, Financial Reports and Accountability, OE 8.1. 18D, first reading of revisions to Administrative Regulation 3513.1, Cellular Phone Reimbursement, OE 8.1. 18E, first reading of revisions to Administrative Regulation 5141.52, Suicide Prevention, OE 11. And 18F, Early Head Start and Head Start Reports per requirements for the Head Start Act for March 2023, OE 10.1. The board has received and reviewed that information. 19, do we have any suggestions for future agendas? Seeing none, our next regular board meeting is going to be May 23rd, 2023 at 6 p.m. Item 21 is to debrief. Thanks, guys. Been a pleasure, really. I wish you all the very best that life has to offer. You guys are going to do well.
Thank you very much for this experience. It's truly been an honor and for just to meet Chris and meet Ariana and Jolie and Mariah, to have this experience with all of you and to be able to see through a different perspective and be able to voice our opinions from our schools.
Good. Good. Chris?
I definitely agree. It's been a privilege, and I'm so thankful to have gotten to know all of you and to have sat down with my principal to go over all the board agenda or my board meeting presentations, and to present with all of you has just been something that I'll always hold as a valuable experience. So thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
We have amazing interpreters signing to our audience, and I want to say thank you to our interpreters, our translators, our technical crew, our help, our administrative help, Louise, and everyone that comes to make this awesome night happen, because we know that it's not that simple and it's very detailed behind the scenes. So appreciation to all of the support staff here on our behalf, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Item 22 is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
You guys want to hang out? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks,
I think
everybody.
you guys wanted to leave tonight.
And Christopher and